A few years ago, I bought some Stan Solo figures. If you don't know, Stan Solo makes Star Wars figures in a factory, custom Star Wars figures in a factory. And he started off, he did a few of the last 17 figures and like Blue Snaggletooth and put his mark on them instead of the Kenner marks. So you could tell that they weren't, originals, but they were very high quality. But that's not what I started buying. The first stuff that I started buying were the custom pieces, K3PO, the U3PO figure, or whatever he's called. These were figures that I'd customized myself with spray paint before the age of 10. There's a concrete slab behind my parents' house that used to still bear. It's finally gone, finally worn away after 45 years of environment. It still used to bear the outline where I had spray painted a C3PO figure with no cardboard or newspaper or anything underneath it. So it was this negative imprint of a C3PO figure that stayed there forever. And I could tell in the photos that these factory produced figures looked better than the best I could do with a can of spray paint. They made a mold of C3PO. They produced it in white plastic. So it's not light hitting paint, it's light hitting plastic. And there is a different look to that. And it's an actual vac metallized silver C3PO instead of the spray painted C3PO that I had done at like age 8 or 9. I had a C3PO whose limbs were loose. My parents bought me a new one, and instead of just chucking the old one, I thought, there's that other C3PO at the beginning of Star Wars, I could make him. So those were my first two purchases from Stan Solo. And still then, it was like concentrate on Han Stormtrooper was one, the Oola, Leia as Jabba's prisoner. I think I got the Lando. I got the black Death Star droid because he was the correct Death Star color scheme. I myself had customized one of these years ago, and photos of it had been on the SWCA, Toys R Us, is what I like to call it still, for decades. So generally I was concentrating on those. And around the time that I was staying in Mississippi for work and doing a lot of Toyaholic videos there, I decided I was going to get the Jedi Spirits 3-pack. To get Yoda was this price, to get Ben was this price. If you got all three of them, you really were only paying $18 more to get Anakin. And the reason I didn't buy any of the reproduction figures was because I had all of those. I didn't need an Imperial Dignitary or an Imperial Gunner or, Blue Snaggletooth or Yak Face. I had all those figures. So I was concentrating my purchases on the ones that didn't exist prior to Stan Solo creating them. When I decided to get that Anakin and I held my Anakin and the Stan Solo Anakin in my hands, that was when I realized just how high quality these were. Because aside from a couple of minor differences, they were virtually indistinguishable when you held them in your hands. Then that opened the gate for me, and I started getting a few more Stan Solo reproduction figures versus the Stan Solo custom figures. Apologize for the noise of the mowing. So I just heard him crank it up. So that's going to be under the audio for a few minutes. Recently, someone posted a picture of every Stan Solo reproduction figure in their collection, and I had all but a couple of them. One that I had missed out on, one day I saw somebody do a Emperor's Landing scene, and they had 2 Imperial Dignitaries in there. Now these were original Imperial Dignitaries, but I went, now that is a perfect use for a Stan Solo figure because it would be cheaper to buy the Stan Solo figure than an actual vintage Imperial Dignitary. I don't know, we might have to scrap this video, I'm sorry. And I immediately went to Stan Solo. I had just been on the website the day before and the Imperial Dignitary was in stock. I went back less than 24 hours later and it was sold out. And it was sold out on the UK site, and it was sold out on the Etsy site, and it was sold out on the US site. It was gone. The only thing they had left was the unpainted Imperial Dignitary, so I bought that. And I've been kind of looking for an Imperial Dignitary ever since. I have exhausted a couple of avenues where this guy says he's got some and then he ghosts me. And this person says try here and I try there and they don't have any. And it's just been a search. Recently, on Facebook, Ray Rezek, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, posted a photo of his collection and some stuff that he was going to be offloading and said, these are all real except the Imperial Dignitary, which is Stan Solo. like somebody selling a Stan Solo Imperial Dignitary. So we start messaging back and forth, and he tells me the price, and it's in my range. It's only a couple dollars more than what it would have been from Stan Solo 3-4 years ago. I've seen them go for a lot more than that on eBay, so I was pleased with the price. And he tells me the package is on its way. Then he messages me back, and he goes, "Holy crap. That wasn't a Stan Solo figure. That's an actual Imperial Dignitary from the Power of the Force line, from the 80s. And he had forgotten that he had paid, just off the top of my head, like 4 times as much for it as he'd sold it to me for. He said, "This isn't a scam, I swear. Would you consider, sending it back? I'll buy it back from you. Or if you want it, can you pay me more for it?" And I was like, ironically, I don't need a second Imperial Dignitary. I specifically now have shifted to the point that I want the Stan Solo Imperial Dignitary to complete my Stan Solo collection. At what point did the world shift like this for me? I can't say. But in this box are 2 things, actually, because he told me that he had thrown in a Darth Bane figure that he had no need for. It's twist tied in there. Let me grab it out. Here's the Darth Bane figure, and he said, just keep it. I'm not going to be able to sell it. I'm like, okay, cool. And the other item in here is an Imperial Dignitary. It's triple bagged, and it actually has the LFL production info in there instead of the SS for Stan Solo. So I now own 2 Imperial Dignitaries for a brief window of time before I mail it back to Ray and he reimburses me for it. So I know he's pleased that I didn't go, "No, it's mine now." But the thing is, really, what I wanted it for was to take a picture with the shuttle and the Emperor and all these figures. So there's my Emperor. I took my real Vader out, and he's got some plastic rot that I'm going to have to clean off. So that's the retro Vader from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series line. And here is my Imperial Dignitary. And here's my Stan Solo unpainted Imperial Dignitary. And then I got a bunch of Royal Guards and Stormtroopers in here. I know that's not the right box for the Kenner one, but I don't have the box for the Kenner one. So the last time we moved, I put the vintage ship in the Power of the Force 2 box, or whatever. What was that? Power of the Jedi, maybe? I don't know. So it is the real ship in here from the 80s. But, and just a bunch of Stormtroopers of mine in there. So, I think 15 of those are real, and 10 of those are from Pro Custom Figures. So I'm going to take a photo of the Emperor's arrival, and then I'm going to box this guy back up and send it back to Ray. But at the moment, in my hands, I have 2 vintage Power of the Force Imperial Dignitary figures after these many years of only having 1. Oh, he's got some plastic rot on him. I need to clean mine. Wow. Ray's is in better condition. I told Ray, I said, with your permission, I'd like to shoot an unboxing video of this, because it could kind of be an interesting topic, a unique topic. It's like, bought a Stan Solo, got a real one, didn't want it, send it back. Who does that? Yeah, have a good day.